Look at there. Dane even helped you. Dude, that's awesome. Hey, welcome back to the Slide Podcast, everyone. And look, I'm excited today. I know I probably don't seems like I'm excited sometimes, but today I'm excited. And I'm excited because we got some cool co-hosts today. And Trip, I think we got a pretty good guest too, right?
Yes, sir. We got the owner of Bruce Bolt here.
What was that? I'm sorry.
We got the owner of Bruce Bolt.
Now you're giving them secrets away. We ain't supposed to tell them that yet. Shh.
That wasn't.
Hey, so we're back. I am Coach Aaron, and welcome to the Slide Podcast. So today we have the infamous Trip Dog 22 joining us, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good too, man. I am. Life's going pretty good right now, man, and I'm excited. So, and we also have a previous guest joining us today. He's going to hang around for a few minutes, but he's got to get back to baseball practice. So, Dane, what's up, dude?
What's up?
How's things been going out there with you guys? You're in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
All right. And just for our listeners out there, Dane is currently sitting in his mom's car because he had to skip out on a few minutes of practice just to hang out with us. So, hey, man, are you guys getting ready for Banana Ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to tell you, everyone loved your videos that you guys put together. Are you working on any super cool new trick plays or anything?
Maybe.
There you go. Don't reveal all the secrets yet. Some cool new dance moves because I know Team 22 is got some moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I know Coach Firo. I know Bill Leroy. I know Jesse Cole. All of them seen your videos and they love it. So, well, I can't wait to see you guys there. And Trip Dog, you're coming too, right?
Sir.
All right. Now, am I going to see some some flashy plays and stuff from you?
I got you.
You got me? Okay, look, I'm going to have to tell Ryan Cox that he might have the next glove magician right there at the park with him. So I'm building you up, dude. I'm building you up. Don't let me down, okay?
Yes, sir. I'm going to prove a point.
That's right. Look, that's what we're out there to do. We're all out there to prove a point. You know what that point is, Trip?
No, sir.
Friggin' baseball's fun. That's what it is. And Banana Ball is even funner. So I don't know if that's the right word, but either way, my wife's not here. I don't have to worry about her correcting me.
Okay.
All right. Tell us about this Mother's Day weekend, man. What did you do at the park?
Okay, so on Saturday, 1-1, and then on Sunday we tied the first game since there was 4 games, and then we were about to head for our second game, but it was raining. And it wouldn't stop, so they canceled the whole entire tournament.
What?
Yes.
Man, how many games? Where were you at in the bracket?
3rd seed.
3rd seed. Wow. And you had to walk away because it was raining. What was the tournament like? How was things going there?
So the tournament got canceled, and then we had to go home. But the bad thing is, you don't go on Saturday, then you have no chance of going into the season.
Was your mom nervous about being interviewed?
I think she's ready. You can tell she wasn't.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to tell you, I love the one with your sister. How you introduced her as here's my sister / mother, because she always bosses me around. That was perfect. So that's it. Dane, do you got an older sister?
No.
No? Well, if you did, she'd probably boss you around. Do what now?
I have 2 younger ones.
Oh, okay. Well, you as the older brother, you always have to take up for them. You can't boss them around. So, all right. Trip, let's see if we can let you introduce our guest today.
Okay. So today, we got Bear, the owner of Bruce Bolt, here today on the Slide Podcast.
Yeah. The CEO, founder of Bruce Bolt, Bear Mayer. How you doing, Bear?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Good.
We're good. we thank you very much for hopping on with us. And I know you know what, I with most things we talk about on the show, it's usually kid related, of course, but when we're talking to you, we're talking MLB, college, everybody in the world that picks up a baseball bat knows who Bruce Bolt is.
I don't know about everybody, but
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, man, I love the brand. I love the story. I love just, actually, let me go back. You know what? So Trip, here's a question for you. Bear, and I apologize. Sometimes I get on a tangent. All right. So the slide is an acronym, right? So every one of the letters say it speaks for something. Trip, do you know what the I stands for?
In slide?
Mm-hmm. It's okay. We're going to do a better job of talking about this. What is it? Yeah. Well, that's the letter. Yep. It's inspire. It's inspiration, right? So, like our guest today, Bear, man, I'm going to tell you, like, for every kid out there right now listening, or sitting at home watching, like, if you got an idea, like, don't just let it go. Look at this dude. So, when we get started, man, I'd love to hear a little bit about your take of the story, because I think we've all watched the videos and heard all about this, but kind of tell us where it started from, man.
Definitely. You want me to roll in? Definitely. Perfect.
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right. Well, story really starts when I was 16 years old. I was a sophomore in high school. I'd gotten, the only thing I wanted was a car. I was 16 years old. I was looking to drive everywhere. I wanted some sort of freedom. So I went and got a 93 Land Cruiser. I only had enough money to pay for half of it, so my dad covered the other half. So I was already in a little bit of debt to him. But drove it around for about a week, came home and needed gas money. Went to him, obviously, and he turned me down pretty much immediately. He told me to go get a job or start a company. With where I was with school and with baseball, I was going to school at 6 a.m. And I wasn't getting out until 8 at night. So getting a job wasn't really something I was going to be able to accomplish. So starting a company then came to the forefront, and I went to my dad. He's been an entrepreneur his whole life, so he has a very good idea of how you go about starting these things. So I went to him and I was like, hey, I need to start a company. What's the first step? And he told me all great businesses solve a problem that everyone has. And for me, in my world, batting gloves were the problem. They weren't durable enough. They didn't perform as well as they should. And I thought they should just be lasting longer than they do. So from there, I kind of ran with the idea. Every day after school, I'd sit down, or really after baseball practice, I'd sit down, pull out my laptop, and start designing a batting glove. That went on for a couple weeks, and then we were able to get in contact with a factory through a family friend who got us in contact with Jeff Bresnick, who's the CEO of Nakona, who was then nice enough to lead us to the factory. So obviously, as the story goes on, you'll be able to tell there's a lot of along with hard work, there's just a lot of being blessed in right place, right time.
All right. So just for our listeners out there, let me just pause. Like, you need gas money. And Dad was like, go get a job.
Yes, sir.
Or start a business.
Yes, sir. Dad
That's class. I'm going to use that one.
He used it, and it ended up working out pretty well for him. But we got in contact with the factory. We went through about 18 prototypes with them before finally getting something we like. And we were selling by around the same time, 2018. So the idea came to fruition in 2017, and everything kind of came together in 2018. Selling 1 to 2 pairs a day for about 2 years. And then in late 2019 was reached out to by Whistle Media, the video that you called out to the beginning. They came out to Austin, Texas. They wanted to shoot a video on me for a segment they called My Hustle. So they came out to my high school, came to my house. They started, filming. And they took the video. I didn't hear back from them until 2020. January of 2020, they told me, hey, we're going to release your video on February 6th. Didn't think much of it. Thought maybe a couple hundred Instagram followers would come of it. I couldn't have been more wrong because February 6th rolls around and I don't know what happened, but everyone really seemed to like the video, that everyone seemed to latch on to Bruce Bolt who watched it. And we went from 4 sales the day before, which was a record day, to 80 sales the day the video dropped. And then it kept going. It was 80, then 90, then 100. And, it really didn't slow down until eventually COVID hit, because that was the COVID year. Which blessing in disguise, obviously COVID, nobody that time in our lives was a little bit all over the place, but for us, we were able to sit down as a family and kind of make the decision to restock on our batting gloves that we had just run out of, and just really decide that Bruce Bolt was going to be part of our lives for a little bit longer. And thankfully we made that decision, because here we are today, and I'm blessed to be able to sit here and say I've been a part of so many cool things now at 22 years old, and now I'm getting to be on the Slide podcast with all y'all.
That's right. Trip. He's excited to be here, dude.
Sir.
All right. Now, look, we had somebody else pop in with us. So Lila Brickwall Bratch, she's also one of our field reporters. She lives on the West Coast. So she literally just got out of school.
I did.
Ran home and hopped on
That's
a podcast. So Lila, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Bear just walked us through this amazing story. It's pretty cool. So the whistle media actually really helped you. They helped to blow the whistle, I guess.
I mean, I know without Whistle Media doing that video, we'd probably still be where we were. Maybe we'd start to grow, maybe we'd catch fire, but we'll never know, and I don't want to know.
That's right.
Our initial stock was purchased to get me through college. The goal was that I was going to have 1,000 pairs of gloves until I was graduating college, which would be this year, would have actually been 2 days ago. And so,
wow.
Obviously that didn't happen.
Well, dude, you got a crash course in real world business, financial, you getting a little bit of everything at this point. Marketing.
It's pretty incredible. The things that I've had the opportunity to learn and the people I've gotten to work with is it's really incredible, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I've told your dad that I love most about Bruce Bolt is it's amazing the confidence level that kids have when they strap up a pair of Bruce Bolt gloves. That it increases their confidence level, their competitiveness. They're ready to go. Right, Dane? Do you summons some Max Clark power and all that fun stuff when you put those gloves on? I know you do. I know.
I love it. I saw
it's
Trip
incredible.
Just hold a pair up. He had a pair of the Haps, the Hap Baby Blues. Oh, and we got, which ones were those? Were those the Vader Blacks? Oh, those are the Navy?
These are Navy.
Gotcha. That's a good pair. I love it.
Tell him you won't get back. These don't have as much power in them.
Right. He said, I need my money. I don't have a lot of power.
All right, look, let's Lila, we got to pause. Trip's having some technical difficulties. Bear, I apologize.
This stuff happens, believe me. No problem. This stuff happens.
Yeah. Do you have AirPods, Trip?
I've got.
Do me a favor. See if you can maybe hop off and log on with your phone if that's where they're synced to, or just if you can sync them with his phone. And what we'll do is I'm gonna let Lila and Dane maybe ask him a question, and by that point, Trip should be ready. Cool. Well, look, let me tell you. So I know going through those first 2 years, 2 pairs a day and 4 pairs is the record. That's commitment, and that's something that I think kids today and even adults, honestly, we need to understand what commitment means. And that means you hang in there. And because if you hadn't have stayed and hung through that tough time, specifically of COVID, look what you have missed out on.
Yeah.
So it's a huge lesson.
Kind of back to you mentioning that 2 pairs a day. The initial kind of look at this whole thing with Bruce Bolt was that it was a project that my dad was teaching me how to be an entrepreneur. At no point would we ever have thought that this would get to the point that it's at. So yes, there was absolutely an aspect of hanging in there come COVID time, but during that 2 year span, I was more just, just doing it as a hobby. So the idea that it is where it is absolutely incredible. And we're very blessed to be where we are.
All right. Well, I'm going to start it off with the first question. Lila, you be ready next, okay? All right. So you were a baseball player first.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what you remember most about playing baseball during your childhood.
Good question. Obviously remember a ton of stuff. I'd say the biggest. So I always was a pitcher from the second I started playing baseball. I didn't start playing until I was in 4th grade, and I went to a University of Texas baseball camp. It was the first time I ever went and did anything with baseball, really. And I remember the coaches coming out, or was some of the players were coaching the camp. They came out and they're like separating us into groups, outfielders, infielders. We're gonna do position drills. And I remember the last guy, and I was always a very shy kid. And the last guy comes, he goes, "All right, pitchers, come with me." And for whatever reason, I ran to the pitcher spot. And so I was a pitcher from the second I started playing, and I think the main thing I remember from baseball is just the thrill I had from stepping on the mound. It just felt like everything around me calmed down, everything went quiet. It was just me and the catcher. And it would go quiet, and then the second that inning's over, it gets loud again, and then you go back into it. I think that's my greatest memory from baseball. It's just how at ease I felt when I was on a mound, and it just I didn't pay any attention to anything else around me.
Now, what kind of pitches were you throwing?
Not very many.
Now, were you a flamer? Were you throwing flames, or were you working movement?
Definitely movement. If this tells you anything, by the time I was a senior in high school, I was throwing 69 miles an hour. That was my fastball. So was not a flamer.
Well, you know what? I've seen some knuckleballers. They throwing in the 50s. You could went the knuckleballer route.
I threw that from about the age of 11 to 16. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah,
that was
very
my
cool.
pitch. Until I grew. There's a little thing called puberty that I hit, and it threw my body off, threw my coordination off, and that's kind of when I let go of it. But I learned a curveball, I learned to change up. I had some of those things going by the time I was a senior.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Bratch, you up, ma'am?
All right, so your limited drops are always selling out in like minutes. So is there any tricks to like get them?
That was a good question. I should have been ready for that. I am ready for it. I have a great answer for you. So they do sell out very fast, and that is something that honestly we were prepared for these limited edition gloves to sell, but just to see kind of the hype around them when we do announce them is incredible. So as quick as they sell out was not expected. For them to sell out is expected, but as quick as they do, not expected.
Was the Max Clark editions the first ones that really like sold out really quickly?
They were the first ones that sold out within 10 minutes. They sold out in 6. We do have that one coming back, though. That is not a creator series glove. That's a signature series glove. He's one of our signature athletes, so that glove will be back for anyone listening. But I think tips and tricks for getting them, one, on our end, I'll just tell you this. We are working on making sure that we are better prepared for these launches in the future. We want to make sure, because we know that there is a lot of love and hype around Bruce Bolt right now. So we want to make sure as many people as possible can get their gloves. So we are working on, as a company, making sure that we have that inventory bumped maybe just a little bit higher for these drops to make sure they don't sell out in 2 minutes or however many minutes. That's one thing. And then, another thing, and this is something that I've learned just over the years of just doing things with shoes and whatever it may be. make sure your information is put into the system before you go to check out. That's a big one. You get caught typing in your information and then all of a sudden that glove's sold out, or that pair of shoes. So that would be my tip and trick. But other than that, I just want everybody to know that Bruce Bolt is working on making sure these drops are a little bit better for y'all.
So it's not on purpose that you sell out quickly and leave everyone else. Like, I mean, it's
It is
honestly a learning lesson
for us.
versus.
Yes, sir. There's definitely an aspect of, we usually sit around with each other as a company, whether it be on Zoom or at our office, and we sit there and we watch the launch live. And this last one with Meg Rem's glove, honestly, those flew out the door. So I sat with a couple members of our team afterwards, and we just sat there and we discussed what do we need to do to make it better. So it's definitely a learning lesson for us, and we're doing our best to make sure that moving forward, we make sure that at least more than X amount of people get their gloves.
Yeah. Well, that makes you feel good, Lila, right? He's working on inventory.
Yes,
He's going to get it fixed for you.
Fixed.
Yeah. All right, Dane, you hanging around here skipping practice, man, drop a bomb on us. Get us a good question.
So, who are you going to probably try to do next?
Could you ask that one more time, Dane?
What player are you going to probably try to do next?
Try and get next. That's a good one. So we haven't really gotten to the point where we're discussing that yet.
Dane, are you lobbying for yourself? You want him to do a set of gloves for you?
They both want some gloves for themselves.
Oh, he's
working on them.
He's got designs.
It's called Drip Dog.
Drip Dog.
After that.
Can I maybe be able to customize some?
So customization. So I'll answer both your questions right here. As for players that we're going for next, we start to look at that during the All-Star break is when we start to really start to think about who we can go and get next. Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into it, like contracts with different companies. So there's a lot that goes into it, but we do start to look at that around the All-Star break. I would tell you a player that I'd love to go and get would be Bryce Harper. I would love to have Bryce Harper on Bruce Bolt. Love some Bryce Harper.
You either gotta love him or hate him, I think, but I'm on the love side.
And as for customization, I would love to tell you when that's planned on being a thing. It's definitely something that we want to have for y'all down the road because we know how much at least I know how much as a player I wish I could have customized my own batting gloves. So we are working on it, and as we continue to grow, we will make sure that is in the plan, and we think we can eventually get there, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Well, Trip, here's maybe we'll go to negotiation with Bruce Bolt, Trip, and I'll have you design us some Slide podcast gloves, and we'll see how fast those sell out. Maybe
Yes,
what do you think, Trip? How fast do you think they'll sell out?
10 to 15 minutes.
Well, that's good. I was going to say, a little bit more than that, but if that's what you think, I'm gonna have to go with you. Yeah, I'll take it. Trip, your turn, man. What you got for this dude?
Okay. What's your least favorite pair of gloves that you've designed?
Pair that I've designed? Wow. Am I allowed to say none of them?
Yeah, it's his stuff. See, all the stuff that he didn't like, that was left back in the design area. Like he was just like, that won't work.
But if I do have to pick for you, oh, that's tough. What's my least favorite color? I'll just go with what's my least favorite color in general. Yeah, no, I can't answer a Trip. I can tell you my favorite.
Which one?
Okay, that's actually a hard question too. That's actually really hard too. I'd say, maybe those Meg Brems that just came out. Those are really cool in my opinion. I love the Bader pinks. We've got a new Ian Happ glove coming out later this year. That I think everyone's gonna really like. It's definitely on my list of top favorites. So um, it's a hard choice to make, but I might have to go with that new Meg Brem just because of how much it pops and how much everyone loves it. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I think they're so cool. I mean, I'm an old man now at this point, and I don't play a lot. I still coach, but I'm gonna tell you, they're so like I love the way they look so much. I'd wear them sitting here on the podcast. I would enhance my drip, Lila, if I had Bruce Bolts on when I'm recording. I think I would record better.
I think we got to get you.
You think so, Lila?
I think we got to get you.
Yeah.
I think so.
Every podcast.
Look,
you'll have it in every podcast. Increase the drip.
Yeah,
Increase the drip.
that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Look, I've learned, Bear, that if you look good, you play good.
Exactly.
And when I was growing up, we didn't have any drip. And I think that's the reason why I'm not in the MLB is, that's what I blame it on is, I've learned from Tripp and Dane and Bratch down here is, man, I just didn't have drip. But you know what? I make fun of that all the time, but ultimately drip is helps your confidence. And I'm going to tell you, I struggled with personal confidence a lot when I was in high school playing. And, my goal for this show and for these guys here joining us is like, take advantage of it. And even your story is just, hopefully there's someone out there that's got an idea that, they take it to fruition. And I think it's pretty awesome. Lila, what you got next?
All right, so how did you come up with the name Bruce
Great
Bolt?
question. Lila's got the questions today. Yeah, so the name is one of the main questions we get. Obviously, it's a very easy name to remember because it's pretty out there. But I love telling the story. So it's very much ties family together. Bruce is my grandfather's name. It's also my dad's name, and it's also my middle name. So it's been passed down, obviously a couple generations. And my grandfather was also a phenomenal athlete growing up. He was baseball, football, hockey, lacrosse, you name it. He went to college on scholarship for football and baseball. And so he's been a huge part of my life as well, just, growing up. He now lives in Texas. So he's right around the corner from me. But he's been a huge part of my life, and I wanted to find a way to incorporate him. So we were when thinking about the name, we were like, Bruce. And the bolt, he's actually been struck by lightning twice. So my grandfather, he's been struck twice. His name's Bruce Bolt. Has a nice ring to it, and it tells a nice story.
Do you believe that story, Lila?
Yeah.
Somebody got struck by lightning twice.
I was wondering who Bruce was because I saw Bruce Bolt, and then he said wearing the green bear, and I was like, okay, who's Bruce then?
Yep, Bruce is grandpa.
I should have said Bruce Bear or Bear Bruce.
Bear Bruce. Yep, Bear Bruce Mayer, and then we got the Bruce Mayers.
Yep. So Bruce Bolt, the name, Lila, check this out. What if, how all the guy that wrote Spider-Man, Sam, what's his name? The dude that came up with all the Marvel. I can't remember, but he always likes to do two superhero name or the superhero name with letters that kind of are similar. So Peter Parker, like that. Bruce Bolt, and that sounds like a superhero to me. I think so. Dane, you got any more questions, dude, before we let you get back to practice?
Yeah.
All right, let's shoot.
Which do you prefer, short cuff or long cuff?
Long cuff or short
long
cuff?
Long cuff is going to be my choice on that one. Long cuff was actually my original design. That was part of the way that we wanted to separate ourselves from other brands. I designed it. It was the first glove that I designed. When I played, I like to tape my wrist a lot. I played a lot of middle infield, a lot of outfield, you name it. But I especially liked the tape on my wrist for when I went up to bat. It made my wrist feel more secure, and it gave me an extra level of confidence that, Aaron, you were talking about earlier, that, if you lack that confidence, what are you going to do when you get up to that plate? So I liked having that stability. I would get pulled into pitch middle of the game. I came in as relief, and I'd have to take that wrist tape off. And in my next at bat, I was lacking confidence because I no longer had that support. So here comes the long cuff. I designed it to act as a wrist tape for when maybe I was pitching and I didn't get to have that support. So the original design for the long cuff was based off of a little bit of a confidence thing for me. But if I have to make the pick, I'm going to go long cuff.
I like that too. I've always liked the long cuff just for that support for your wrist. I mean, it's just an additional support. What's that, Dane?
I'm gonna get long cuff next time.
I think you should definitely try it. I think when people try it, they definitely, because it's definitely a different feel, but I think you'll like it, Dane.
All right, and tell Mom to get me a pair too. I know his mom, so she knows I'm playing. She knows I'm playing. All right, Trip Dog. What's the next?
How has Bruce Bolt affected your family?
It's affected my family in a very, very positive way. I'll make it quick. I'll make it a quicker story than it could be. But, in the beginning, it was me, my dad, and my mom. And, it did at some points, as anyone can assume, working with your dad, there can be some negative times. Kids fight with their parents all the time. Just imagine working with them 8 hours a day.
You're wrong.
So there was definitely, there'd be some fights between me and my dad very early on. I then went off to college. I got to, I took a little bit of a break from being home, a little bit of a break from Bruce Bolt, which then gave me time to grow up and become a little bit more mature and more of an adult, to when I came home the next time, I was, I internally was ready to really take on Bruce Bolt more than I had been and start to work with my dad better than we had been. And that definitely changed our relationship for the better. We have a great relationship now. My mom obviously always had a great relationship with her. I'm a little bit of a mama's boy, always have been. And then just as a whole, for our whole family, it's impacted us in an amazing way. We're very blessed to be where we are, and very blessed that, Bruce Bolt has worked out the way that it has. And, it's just a really cool and amazing thing to, see something that started as just an idea to bring us to where we are now. And we're very, very thankful for it. Very thankful for it.
All right, I got to ask a question now. The three of you got to listen to this, okay? I want you to listen to the answer here, because I kind of think I already know. All right, the dog wanted to listen too. So you mean to tell me you, as a teenager, probably thought your dad didn't know what he was talking about?
I would definitely say yes. There was a lot of that.
And you realized that once you got back really involved and engaged, that, hey, he might know what he's talking about, right?
You realize that your parents, they only want the best for you. So everything that my dad was doing when, maybe sometimes I'd get annoyed or flustered or not want to talk to him, he was really only just looking out for me and looking out for my best interests. So at the end of the day, that's all your parents want for you. They just want you to succeed, and they want to see you happy.
Yes, sir.
That's a lesson, right? That's I have this argument with my 9-year-old all the time. He thinks he knows everything. Lila, do you know everything?
I feel like Lila might.
She would be the one out of, specifically between me and her, she would probably know more than I do. That's for sure. And she's got some game. She's a baller. Dane, who knows more, you or your mom and dad?
I don't know.
There you go. Look, just take a draw. Right now, you're still deciding. Trip, I know you got that right.
Me.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. I think that's what makes you so special. I'm sure when the camera goes off, Dad will have a conversation with you about that. So, hey, let's move on, okay? Hey, dude, let me ask you a question. So, when you were growing up, man, who were you looking up to? Who was your favorite ball player?
Yeah. So when I started playing, the first team I played for, I was playing for L2IA, Lake Travis Youth Association. I played for the Cardinals, and my
Mhm.
first number was number 5. So at the team, it was Albert Pujols on the
Wow.
Cardinals. So he was the first guy, and my dad was never a baseball player either. So we went and looked into who's number 5 on the Cardinals, and did some research on Albert Pujols, and we found out just kind of what a great human being he is, and just how much he's done for the community and those around him. And so and on top of that, what a great athlete he is. So he was always a guy that I looked up to. And then as my baseball career progressed, it would switch around. Clayton Kershaw became a big inspiration of mine. And I had the opportunity to meet him when I was about 12 years old, out in Los Angeles. So that was really cool. So he became one of my favorite guys. But I'd say overall, through the bulk of my career through high school, the person I really looked up to was Trey Hillman. He was not. He played minor league ball early. After college, he went to UT Arlington. But he came into my life at around 11 years old. He was a mentor to me. He coached me every Sunday. I drove up to his ranch in Liberty Hill, Texas. And, he taught me how to throw a knuckleball. He taught me how to field a ground ball properly. And he taught me more than anything. He taught me how to be just a good person. He has very, very deep Christian beliefs. So I'd say he was an inspiration to, my Christianity, my faith. And he had a very big impact on me growing up. So from the age of about 11 to, 18 when my career ended, but still going on today. He's someone that I look up to very fondly.
Very cool. I think that's awesome. First of all, stopping at Pujols with the number 5. You couldn't have picked a better number for that.
Yes, sir.
Pujols was the man. And honestly, I know he's retired, but he's still
Absolutely.
the man.
Always will be.
So,
Absolutely.
his charity, he's still doing so much for so many people. The guy used to hit, hold on, let me get this right. The guy used to hit some serious swamp donkeys. Did I pull that one off, Lila? Trip?
That was
Kane?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Hit 700.
I feel like that was awkward when I said swamp donkey. So I got to say it. I got to say it more so I feel more comfortable with it. So I may just say the word swamp donkey just randomly in this interview just so I start feeling better. Okay.
It didn't sound. It sounded good.
It sounded good. Okay, cool. I won't have to say swamp donkey again.
Yeah, I think it was good.
All right, Lila. Lila, what you got?
All right, so your mantra is be better. Can you tell us how you apply that to business and your life?
Lila, you're crushing it today. Be better.
That's out of
So
the
be
park.
better is actually something that we said from very early on. I'd say it's kind of like our just do it. But from very early on, my dad and I would just say be better. Something went wrong, be better, get it right. So it kind of became a very large part of our company. We all say be better to each other. We have 3 rules. It's be better, be kind, and don't mess it up. And by don't mess it up, we mean just we're not solving. We're not trying to fly a rocket. We're just making batting gloves. Take it slow. Make sure you get things done. And then be kind. Obviously, we want to be kind to everyone. We want to show everybody this. We want to, treat others the way you want to be treated. And then to be better, the way I look at it is you do all you can every day to be the best. The next day, let's get 1% better, even if that's something as little as working a minute longer, but you can always be better. You don't have to be the best. Perfection, as we all know, is you can get close, but it's unreachable, but you can always be better. So that's kind of where Be Better originates from, and that's the way I look at it. And I think the majority of our company, if not all of our company, looks at it.
I love it. I love it. And even just reading about the story of your initial designs, like you kept sending them back and said, make them better, make them better. And like that, I think that's what put you in a position of success, is because you didn't just accept mediocrity. Like you had an expectation and you wanted to see that expectation through.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
This episode's full of lessons. I'm going to tell you, like, it's good stuff. Dane, you ready? You got another question?
Yeah, one more before I go back to practice. Could you possibly maybe send me some Ian Happ long cuffs?
Ian
Some
Happ long
what?
cuffs.
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, yeah.
Dane, you know what? I'll get Aaron to tell me your size and which one of the two Ian Happs you want. You want the baby blue or the white? Baby blue.
Baby
All right.
blue.
Well, send Aaron your size, and I'll get you a pair out. And same goes for you, Lila and Trip.
Yay.
Look at there. It's like Oprah on this show. You get a pair, you get a pair, you get a pair. Good job, Dane. Look.
I'm going to have to pick which ones I want, though.
These other two were thinking that. You just had enough guts to ask. All right, dude. Hey, go have a great practice. Focus. I know you're excited because you just talked to like a real deal celebrity here, but I mean, Bear's cool too. I mean, no, I'm serious. Hey, dude, you did great. And go have fun at practice, dude. I'll be in touch with you.
Thank you, Bill.
See you, Dane.
And
Good practice.
bye. And Aaron. And I
All right. See you, buddy.
see you.
What was the biggest lesson you've learned in business? You know, so you've been at this thing for a little bit now. What's your biggest lesson for like entrepreneurs or someone starting?
Yeah. Well, obviously learned a lot of lessons in the 6-7 years I've been doing this. I'd say it's really important to make connections. You know, it also, there's a ton of lessons that go into it. We all know that, but I'd say the most important to me has been the connections I've made along the way. You know, the only reason we got to a factory is because of a family friend that we had who introduced us to Jeff Bresnick, who then introduced us to the factory. And then, you know, and obviously that's a family connection, but then you go out and you go to these events, you know, you've got to go and talk to people, because who knows who the next person is that you're going to talk to and make a connection with. They could know whoever it is that you need now on your team. And I think being able to go and communicate and go and make connections and go and create relationships is a very valuable thing to have that a lot of people might not think of, you know, because when you really think of going into business, you know, and obviously a huge part of it is putting your head down and getting busy and, you know, really focusing. But I think relationships and where those can take you are a huge part of it as well.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, because I feel like relationships and a network is just like a spider web. You never know whose path you're going to cross, who knows who. And so again, go back into be better, be kind. And like those two things will help you build your network.
Exactly.
So anyway, Trip.
Sure.
Don't get bored on me now. What you got?
So, you know how on some of the batting gloves, the palm is brown, and then some of them are like the color that is on the burst bolts. How do you decide which one to do?
Good question. So initially, we did the tan palm, the brown palm that you're talking about. That was more of a marketing move by me. Our original batting glove, the first one, the 18th prototype that I decided to put out, that batting glove was just solid white and solid black. Then we got to a point where, you know, we'd started to grow, and so now we're looking at creating more batting gloves. in an attempt to, make people start asking, what are you wearing? Because when you're on a field, you're standing at the box, maybe not everybody can see what you're wearing. We put a brown palm on it as a marketing tool for, what's that glove with a brown palm? People go on the internet, batting glove with brown palm. So that was initially a marketing tool for us, but then it's obviously stuck. We loved the brown palm. It differentiated us between a majority of the other companies. And then you come to the gray palm, which is on our Chrome series batting gloves. That was a way to differentiate between the two series. We have our original series and our Chrome series, and it was also just a style thing. The gray looked better on it than the tan did for that specific glove. And then you come to our signature series gloves that all the pros make. When it comes to those gloves, it's their decision. Harrison Bader loves having that tan palm. It makes him feel gritty. It makes him feel like he's working hard. Nimmo, he goes with the gray palm because it fits the colorways he's going with more. Hap was the first one that we let put a colored palm on his batting glove, and he went with the baby blue. That was just, we had gotten to the point where we've grown enough, and we've grown enough with our factory to where we were like, listen, we're going to start trying to do new colors here on the palm. And it was also very much a style thing. Ian Happ came to us. He was like, listen, let's try and get a new colored palm on here. It had been something we had been thinking about for a while, but Ian was just the first one that we did it with. And now, as you can see by looking at our catalog, we've got more and more gloves coming out with that color on the palm. So it's a big step that we decided to take, and it's been working out really well.
That's awesome. Trip, what you like, the brown palm or what you like?
I like the colored palm.
What's your favorite color of palm that we've got?
Probably the Max Clark, the pink and blue ones.
That's a good
Like the pink and blue palm looks cool.
Alternating palms. Good pick.
I gotta say, look, pink is coming back. Like, actually,
back.
pink's always been here. I think for most of us, we're just now realizing pink is actually
Pink is
cool.
hot.
Trip, you wearing it, dude. You got it. Look, I try to like look at these guys and I imagine like who in the MLB reminds me. And Trip, I feel like you're going to grow up to be similar to a Bryce Harper.
Man, I hope so.
I would have said
Man,
Bryce.
I do too.
I would have said Bryce.
Yeah. Look, the kid was on front of the Sports Illustrated at like 16. I still have that Sports Illustrated. And hey, look, dude, let's get you on cover of the Sports Illustrated. Lila, you want to be there with him? I think we do the duo, like, but obviously like the lowdown, he's going to get upset because we don't include him, and Easy E, Big E, we got to get all those guys involved. Look, I think it's something that we can work on. We can just have all the field reporters on front of the slide on Sports Illustrated. You guys think so?
Yes, sir.
Listen, one thing that I've learned and I've been inspired by Bear is, look, if we want to do it, there's no one stopping us. Let's just do it, okay? All right. Well, look, we're going to get there. All right, Lila. Got any more questions for this dude?
I do.
Okay.
So, those new Meg Rem gloves, I know they were designed for softball players. Is there any difference between your baseball and softball batting gloves?
Actually, we did have a couple questions on that. Meg Rem that's a good question because we did. Now I can voice that a little more. Meg Rem, obviously, she's a phenomenal softball creator. She's great. Love working with her. But the gloves that we designed with her are actually, like you mentioned there at the end, they are both softball and baseball gloves. There's no difference yet. And I say yet because that glove is the same build as all of our other gloves. But we are currently working on what we are calling our women's fit batting glove. We've seen that there hasn't been a lot of, attention to softball, as much as there has been baseball. So we have really taken these last 6 months to a year to focus on building a batting glove that fits a softball player better than our current batting gloves do. So we've really just taken into account the sport of softball and taken into account just girls and women in general. So Meg Rem was not a different fit yet, but moving forward, look out for the women's fit batting gloves.
Cool. That's like I would have never thought about that, but you're exactly right. Like I mean, in the world of softball, there's not really that product that's truly like catered to them, and I think that's dude. That I'm gonna tell you, the world of softball is insane. Softball is serious
Softball
business.
could be a little bit more intense than baseball, and I love it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Whoo! Now, Lila, you play baseball, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever play softball as you get older?
Well, I'm just doing whatever's fun right
Good
now.
answer.
Okay.
Good answer.
Yeah. Because look, I know Coach Alvarez, Veronica Alvarez told us, look, she tells her players, like, whatever gets you through school and gets you a free education. But I believe Lila, you might be a groundbreaker. Like, I mean, there's some women in college baseball now, and you know what? We don't need any softball, Lila. Just don't forget I even asked that question. Look, you're brick wall for a reason. All
Yeah.
right, we're just gonna leave it there. See, that's just a point where I was doing a lot of thinking outside of my head, and then I realized I just need to be quiet. Trip, what you got, bud?
Okay, so how do you get your batting gloves to look so good while have the best leather that they have for batting gloves? Like, is it a cost difference or
So
what?
there's definitely a cost difference in making the quality of batting glove that we make. That's for sure. The cost is definitely there, but it's well worth it for us to go and produce that quality, and get that performance out of a glove. So yeah, so there's definitely a cost difference. And then as for as good as it looks, I appreciate that comment, Trip, because all these batting gloves are designed by me. So as long as you're out here thinking they look good, it's a huge compliment to me, and that's the goal. Is I want y'all to keep loving what I'm putting out and loving what the pros are putting out, because obviously Harrison and Ian and Brandon, they all have a lot of say in their batting gloves that they're putting out. So those are a collaborative thing, but it's awesome to hear from you that you love what we're putting out, and we're going to make sure that we keep making you happy, Trip.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got a question. So, I mean, I'm going back to trying to put myself in your shoes at a young age, designing gloves. Like, I noticed it's 0.9 millimeters thick leather. Like you as a teenager, you're having to learn all of this stuff. Like, what was that like?
It's unlike anything that you ever expect to learn. But I'm sitting in high school English, and then once the day's over, I'm going and I'm sitting at my computer and I'm learning about 0.9 versus 0.1 millimeter thick leather, and I'm learning about what stitch is a better stitch than the next. And there's definitely, and then on top of that, I'm learning how to manage money at 17 years old. So there's definitely there's a lot of learning that went on as a high schooler that you don't think you learn until maybe you're in college in that course, So I'm very thankful for it. It was an incredible thing to learn those lessons when I was that age. It's gotten me to an amazing point in my life, and I mean, these are lessons that maybe sometimes you don't learn in college, or you do need to go outside of the normal education system to go and learn. Like, if I'm in a college course as a sophomore learning about business, it's one thing to learn about it. It's another thing to go and try and make that transaction with a player's agent. So there's little things to it that I'm very thankful that I learned at the age that I am and was.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't assume the learning really starts until you get to college, but there's so much valuable information that you get in high school and then in life. I mean, taking on like hobbies and doing things to challenge yourself and to teach yourself. Like, I feel like that's a skill, Bear. Like, having the ability to teach yourself something without someone like taking you through it themselves. Like, I think that's
Yeah,
that's talent.
it's incredible. It's really awesome to get to learn the way I've been learning. Obviously, going to school and getting an education in college is a very valuable thing, but there are, like you said, other ways to learn these things, and Bruce Bolt's granted me that opportunity, so I'm very thankful for it.
Well, one more question that I have, and I'm going to turn it over to these guys, see what final questions they have. But so when you decide on someone for a collaboration, how long does it usually take from probably the contract to be signed or an agreement versus when street date happens? How long does that take?
I think the timetable is usually about you got it. So from the first sample that we get, say that we pick the glove, turnaround time is about 120 days. But like you said, there's the getting everything lined up contractually and picking colors, getting samples. So I'd say all in all, you're looking at close to 200 days before you get a bat and glove done.
That's time. Lila, bless us with another amazing question.
All right, so do you have any visions of expanding outside of baseball, maybe like football gloves or something?
Questions are coming.
Wow.
That's a
great good question.
Here's what I'll tell you. Bruce Bolt is a leather. We excel in leather. We are a leather goods. Our batting gloves. There might be other things we're working on within baseball, but we're going to continue to grow within the sport of baseball. Moving forward to other sports, it's a consideration. There's definitely other sports out there that do have gloves. We would consider ourselves a glove company. There are other sports that use gloves. Football might be one of them. We don't know. No, we do know. Football does use gloves. I'll let you make your own assumptions on that, Lila, but based off of what I said, Bruce Bolt may be considering other sports.
Maybe, Lila. Lila, you're bringing out the good stuff. This is the juicy stuff.
All cylinders today.
I know it. Like she comes in from school ready to go. Trip, finish this off, dude.
Okay. So the next pair of batting gloves, it'd be cool if you made it like it was dripping down, like it was paint dripping, or if it was like sprinkles on it or something.
I will take that into consideration for the next glove. Absolutely. We're starting. If you get Aaron to send me that picture, I'll take that one into consideration for sure. We actually have a meeting tomorrow looking into our 2025 gloves. So that I could bring that one up and we'll see where we're feeling on that. But based off that picture, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Is that a good answer for you, Trip?
Drip Dog edition.
Yes, sir.
Drip Dog. Listen, we already got a logo being made for you that says Trip Dog. You changed it Drip Dog now, and that's going like look, Bear said, it's about another 120 days before I can get that done. So don't change your name yet. I think Drip Dog's pretty good. Drip Dog's the nickname for the nickname. Yeah. Lila, you got anything else for this dude? No? Trip?
I'm good.
Awesome.
But like, it'd be cool if like, cause everybody on my team has Bruce Bolts, literally everybody, and it'd be cool if we got like a team sponsor or something.
I like the way you think.
That's listen, I'll look, they know how to get in touch with you because when I told his assistant today that Trip Dog was going to be on with us, she was like, "Ooh, I don't know if he's ready for Trip Dog." So, and I didn't tell him to go watch anything of you. They were ready for you.
That's good field reporting.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Bringing the real news and it. Listen, Bear, when Trip reports, it's unfiltered. Like we get his thoughts and look, I grew up being told, look at the baby's ugly, say it. Trip will tell you. Like Trip, you literally talked to a mom this weekend that thought her son was safe and he really got hosed. And you just told her, right?
He was hosed by like 5 feet. But the ball got there like a mile before he got there. and he completely missed the tag, like terribly. But the ball got there so early, so he had to call him out.
Well, like Tripp went right up to the mom on camera and was like, "You think your baby was safe?" And she had to say, "Yeah." And Tripp, he had both moms together, the kid on third base's mom, and he had the runner's mom together. And
The funny thing is, they both go to the same school, and they be playing with each other during like the hallways. They be like, I heard that they be pushing each other and stuff. Cause I think they got a little bit of beef.
oh, they might now. Look, you might have been the instigator there. That's all right. All right, Bear. Man, look, this episode has been amazing. And, I wanted, this was, so I think I have had this conversation with you. So the first time we had a call with all of our field reporters together, I asked them, I was like, tell me the brand that means the most to you. And Bruce Bolt was the number one. So I wanted this episode to be, these guys asking you questions. And, man, I didn't have to talk much.
Yeah, and they had some good questions, and I appreciate y'all thinking that Bruce Bolt was the brand that you really wanted to talk to, and that means a lot to me. So, thank y'all very much.
Yeah. Hey, Lila, we still got one question left.
Yeah.
Should I let him skip it because he's Bruce Bolt?
No.
No. All right, Bruce.
He needs it.
Not Bruce. Bear. I'm about to call him Bruce. All right. So, Bear, this is the last question that we have asked every single episode, I believe. And we're on like episode 106, 107, something like that. Usually stumps most people. All right. This is usually the hardest question, and I'm not even joking. All right. You're walking up to bat today, Bear. What's going to be your walkout song?
That's good. I think I gotta go back to my senior year walkout song. It was "Oops, I Did It Again" by Britney Spears.
Oh yeah,
That's it.
That's my walkout.
that's the one.
W song.
What did you say, Tripp?
I said W song.
W song? All right, now that's a new one for me.
Yes, sir.
Bear, do you know what that means?
Song.
W song. Now, does the W stand for something like wonderful song?
Win.
Good.
Like when good.
We're just changing the vocabulary and how
And
letters
L
sound.
means bad.
If
Okay.
it said L
Oh,
song,
so
I would have
when
been on the floor, I would have been distraught.
And I would have been sitting here puzzled and confused. Have no clue what that meant. All right, dude. Hey, thank you so much for your time. I know you're super busy. You're an international traveler, super high class businessman. I appreciate it so much,
I don't know about
man.
all that, Aaron, but thank you guys for having me on. I always take the time for things.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
hey,
you.
at the end of every show, we let you close it out for us. And so I'm gonna run through a few things here for our listeners. But at the end of the show, I'm gonna say, until next time, Bear. And you're gonna say, we'll catch you on the slide.
Catch you on the slide.
Yep. All right. Lila, Tripp, thank you guys so much for everything that you do for our network. Look, this is what I want to tell you too, is it's not just a podcast anymore. This is the net. We're building a network now, and we're going to continue to expand, and we're going to continue to try and do new things to bring more kids in. I will tell you guys that we are adding some softball players here this week that's going to help with production of some of your content. And so, look, here's how I want it. And for our listeners out there, look, I want you guys running the show. Like this show was built for kids. And you guys continuously get so much better, like as you get more and more comfortable with the mic. And this show is going to eventually be turned over to you guys probably at some point. And I'm excited about it. Look, we just learned some valuable lessons about things. And we can apply those same lessons to the Slide Network. And thank you guys. Lila, thank you for getting out of school on time, running home, and being ready. Tripp, thank you for missing batting practice today. So Bear, he missed batting practice.
Trip, I appreciate it, man. I know BP is a big thing to miss, so I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Been going for 6 years.
Well, 6 years. I mean, how old are you? Like you like 6 and a
11.
half, 7? Oh, okay. Well, dude, that's more than half your life you've been in batting practice.
And my sister went to the same one, but when she played softball.
Is that where she learned how to boss you around? Yeah. Okay. Well, look, next time, tell her to run some polls. All right. Listen.
I do,
Hey.
and then my batting coach gets mad at me because I'm mean to her.
Oh, yeah, I'd make you probably do some push-ups, but then I'd make her run too. Just do it both, man. Look, push-ups are a good thing. If you get push-ups as a punishment, you're getting stronger every time you do it. So who cares?
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
not that bad of a punishment either.
Well, I tell you
Depends
what.
on how much.
You're going to write a check that you about to have to cash, buddy. What if I told you to do 100?
Oh, Lord.
There ain't no bet on that one, is there? It's all right.
no.
You'll get there. Hey, you'll get there. Hey, listeners and our viewers, thank you guys so much. This show means the world to all of us, including these field reporters. And thank you guys for your support, hanging in there with us. We're learning, we're growing, and some amazing things to come from us. And so we look forward to constantly continuing to bring you guys great content around the youth game of baseball and softball. So, all right, field reporters, we're going to sign off. But Bear, until next time,
Catch y'all on the slide.
there you go.
We thank you for toughing it out and pushing through. Now, let's go teach the world great sportsmanship, leadership, to go inspire someone through your dedication and excitement for the game. Make sure to smash the like and follow button on all social media at The Slide Podcast Show and The Slide Pod on Twitter. Plus, leave us a review and feedback. Until next time, we'll catch